Just when it seemed like it'd be a slow week for Nintendo, there's a new Direct and Nintendo bought a gaming company. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope you're all doing really well today. It is Thursday, and we're talking all about the next Direct on Nintendo's schedule. It's coming soon, and I am psyched. Plus, Nintendo made an acquisition, a very rare move from a company that said, we don't do that. Oh, but they just did. Who is it? Also, Elden Ring nearly sent Mario for a super spin, and I'll fill you in. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all doing wonderful. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy the show, and let me know your take on today's topics. I bet you heard me say it in your head. We're kicking it off with the greatest video games of all time. Yesterday, Elden Ring reviews descended, and despite this game not being on Switch, it decided it was gonna scooch the Switch. And by that I mean take over OpenCritic's #1 game of all time slot. At one point, Elden Ring was sitting at a 98, and Super Mario Odyssey at a 97. And then Elden Ring was at a 97, Super Mario Odyssey at a 97, a clash of titans. Who would get the #1 spot? And it seemed like Sir Mario was going to be usurped. But Mario used Cappy to transform into a slightly lower review score and dropped Elden Ring down to a 96, allowing Mario to keep the top spot on OpenCritic. And did you know that Nintendo owns the top spot on Metacritic as well, because Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time sits at a 99. And even though Elden Ring is pretty close up there, it's nowhere near the kings and queens of these castles. Nintendo reigns supreme on the ranking sites. I think it's a fun little aside, and also kudos to Elden Ring for getting so close, but you can never beat our main plumber. Microsoft picked up Activision, Sony bought Bungie, and now Nintendo is making their play. Who is it? Who is it? Is it Capcom? Is it Konami? Is it EA? Is it Michael Scott? No, it's none of those. In fact, it's a studio that worked within the walls of Nintendo and has exclusively helped Nintendo for 40 years. Nintendo just acquired Systems Research and Development Ltd, abbreviated as SRD, and these are people that have worked on games all the way back to Donkey Kong and Mario, and as recently as Game Builder Garage and Animal Crossing New Horizons. Alright, they are a helper studio, a support studio, comprising of about 140 people that work within Nintendo's HQ. Okay, so this is about as non-crazy of an acquisition as you can possibly make, and this is the type of buy that Nintendo was going to do if they were going to do anything, and that is pick up somebody officially that's been working with them non-officially but exclusively for years. Right, earlier Nintendo bought Next Level Games, the fine makers of Luigi's Mansion 3 and the upcoming Mario Strikers Battle League, but Next Level Games is basically a Nintendo studio. So this is not a stretch, it's more of just like a high five, you've done good, since 1979. Now, SRD did something super important and special as a fun little fact for you, an anecdote you can toss out at your gaming LAN parties. They helped develop the jump for the original Super Mario Bros. Miyamoto tasked them with making Mario jump, because in the original Mario Bros running through the pipes, he did not jump. And then they were like, yo, SRD, what happens if we press a button and Mario goes in the air? And SRD was like, we can do it. And they did it. And now they've been working with Nintendo for over 40 years. And now, after all that hard work, the apprentice becomes one with the master, and SRD is officially acquired by Nintendo. It will close on April 1st. Oh, and if you want to know what effect this has, Nintendo themselves have said very little, because SRD was just doing good work behind the scenes on Breath of the Wild and Smash Bros. Ultimate and a ton of major Switch games. I'm sure they're hard at work currently on the rest of the 2022 lineup, and they've already been in-house, so nothing really moves, nothing really changes. Nintendo just is like, yo, we got you. Speaking of we got you, we got more Pikachu, because Pokemon Day is dropping on Sunday, February 27th, and while Nintendo would never do a general direct on a weekend, Pokemon Company is like, we do as we please. And they decided to put out a new Pokemon Presents this Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. That is 7 a.m. for me, so I'm gonna be getting up early. Set your alarms for 14 minutes of Poke goodness. Now, what can we expect at this latest Pokemon Direct? Well, I think it's safe to say they're gonna say, yo, Legends Arceus did great, and they'll probably show off the DLC. As I mentioned before, it was a short time between Sword and Shield launch and Sword and Shield DLC expansion announcement, and I think they'll take the same path with this game because it's similarly very successful. We'll also probably see some odds and ends from Pokemon like Pokemon Home updates, Pokemon Sleep, and maybe Detective Pikachu 2. We know that game is still in development, it hasn't shown up since 2019, and it seems like a good time to see if it's still a thing and what they've got going for Switch. The real main course though is, will we get a new main game? A new main game of any sort, Gen 9 being teased, a new Let's Go. We've heard a lot of rumors that maybe there is a Pokemon. There's a Pokemon. He's out to get me. Hide! We've heard a lot of rumors that there might be a new Pokemon game coming later this fall. Since Nintendo and Game Freak decided to give us Legends Arceus early in the year, they usually love to use November as a time to say, buy more games, especially if there are 2 SKUs. So maybe Let's Go Johto does get revealed this Sunday, or maybe Gen 9 gets teased. I can't see Gen 9 coming out the same year as Legends Arceus. It feels like that's still a few years off, but maybe they have another spin-off. Maybe there's gonna be a Pokemon Musou. Perhaps Pokken Tournament 2 will get announced. We'll have to wait and see, but I will have you covered, and we'll be checking out the Pokemon Presents this Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Let me know in the comments down below what you hope to see most. I think I kind of like Let's Go Johto. That art style was just adorable. At the same time, Legends Arceus is new and it's so darn appreciated. So a totally different kind of spin-off, something we couldn't predict, a new title that we know nothing about, maybe that actually is the grail that we're looking for this weekend. Who likes to swallow backpacks? Nobody. What Kirby does, and that's why in Hong Kong the pre-order bonus for Kirby in the Forgotten Land is a mouthful mode backpack cover. And I'm telling you, if you live in Hong Kong or you're able to import this, you will quickly become the coolest kid at your school. I want to see Kirby swallow a backpack, and if it's your backpack, you better send me a picture over on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere, because this looks sick. The game drops on March 25th, and there you can grab a very cool pre-order bonus. Not a notebook, not a sticker, not some little silly plushie. You're getting a very usable mouthful mode come to life, and I love it. The best part is, you could honestly use this for other things. Yes, it's intended to be a backpack cover, but you could mouthful mode anything. Your little brother, just be sure that he can still breathe. Your cat, just again, be sure he can still breathe. And or maybe you could do a watermelon. Kirby eating a watermelon, spitting seeds like no tomorrow. Yes. Before we get too silly though, let's bridge the gap to the poll. This takes us from stories to what you say, and you can find them every weekday evening on the community tab. So tune in tonight, you'll see a new question and you can get your say heard. Last night I asked, what's the first thing you think of when you hear Nintendo Switch? And I find this fascinating. All right, I gave you the options of like Joy-Con, like seeing the console itself, Zelda Breath of the Wild, the home screen with your games, that Nintendo Switch sound effect, or Animal Crossing, just since that's so humongously popular and culturally relevant. Now, actually, it ends up being Link who wins the day with 34% of the vote, pretty big percentage, as the main thing you think of when you hear Nintendo Switch. Now, that sound effect was super smart, one of the best marketing moves Nintendo has made probably ever, and that's why 32% of you picked the sound effect. Now, I picked Joy-Con, and so did 20% of you. And I think I just see the console, I hear Switch, I think of the console, I hear Switch, I think of the Joy-Con, I think of the colors, neon red, neon blue. Kind of that scheme has just been the way that I process since the very announcement. But 12% of you did pick Animal Crossing and 3% picked the home screen. I bet it'd be more than 3% if they give us themes. One day, maybe, probably not, okay. Anyways, I'll be back another day, tomorrow day. That'll be fun. Until that time, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hit that like button on your way out. I hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive, and protecting your psyche, your mentality, just as important as your body. So try and take care of both of them. And until tomorrow, everybody, thanks again. SwitchForce out.